church. First of all, we have Bishop Constantino, Barrera. He's here from El Salvador. Bishop Constantino is the member for the Department of Lay People of Life. And please give him a hand. First of all, I want to thank God for giving me the opportunity of being with you. And I thank CELAM for selecting me to share this marvelous experience. And this is all because I am collaborating in the Department of Family, Youth, and Life for the region of Mexico and Central America. I've already been introduced, and as I said, I'm from El Salvador. And my diocese is Sonsonate. Not Cincinnati, okay? Sonsonate. I want to also thank the Hispanic pastoral that has embraced me with so much love. It has truly been a beautiful encounter with Christ in this humanity, all of us that struggles to give testimony, this testimony of the live presence of Christ in each one of us. My experience with you has been of enrichment. In the first place, I see a pastoral that is stronger, that is pushing, encouraging, with lots of hope, hope to continue structuring this effort so we build something concrete with the actions of the Hispanic people in the church. And when I've seen the presence of so many bishops, I think we're able to achieve this wish of the Hispanics of having a larger space for actions within the church in the United States. Also, the priests that are supporting them are very important in the development of this Encuentro, which is really an encounter. They are following the pastoral line, especially the norms and the recommendations of Pope Francis, especially like among the document del audio, and also regarding the support the Pope has for the young people. The young people are a priority. It's not only they're not the future, they're the present. They're the present of the church. But this effort to invest in youth will determine the church of the future, because they're doing this in great steps. Also, the attempt, the wish to participate in this joint pastoral that comes from Medellin, Puebla, is done to respond to the challenges of the families. It is to develop and to help the poor and the young. It also enriches me, and it brings me joy to see this cultural exchange. They've been able to manifest it in this participation. I'm taking with me a great impression and also a great experience, and I have a lot to share when I get back. And I know that at CELAM they will be asking me what was my part in this Encuentro, and I will say, you know, there were lots of expectations on my part. And we just have to say we have to stay moving forward. We have to be united. You must achieve, an exchange of these pastoral experiences, and the parochial communities must prevail. So the diocesan pastoral is strengthened and can achieve the plans, so we can have a more active pastoral. I also ask you that we exchange experiences, and I want you to get to know CELAM. This is an organization for Latin American Episcopal conferences and activities in each country, and they help for the production in the pastoral area. I think this will help a lot to maintain this communion and your contribution to CELAM. And also for CELAM, it's important as well because you have come to enrich the pastoral in this country as Hispanics. So it makes me happy that you do not lose your communion with the pastoral that has been done along centuries in this country, because the Hispanic pastoral is to join us, to integrate us. You must always maintain yourself in that spirit of helping the lesser, the poorer, the migrants, the ones that suffer, the ones that are alone, those that the Church asks us to help. And last, I want you to continue together in prayer for the canonization I want you to keep this in your heart so we can work for justice, for peace, for freedom, for love, for Christ. So the kingdom of Jesus that has been announced to us becomes a reality within us. And in this country, and in all the states, and I see people also from Canada. So this love that Monsignor Romero has said has to be coast to coast, and I want you to share that love with those who suffer. May God bless you. Thank you so much.
Muchísimas gracias, Obispo Constantino, por compartir con nosotros su sabiduría y por acompañarnos en este quinto encuentro.
I want to thank you for accompanying us, and as Latinos, we are with you in prayer. Thank you so much.
Second, have Dr.
Segundo,
Guzman Carriquiry
tenemos
Lecour.
al
Me
doctor
gustaría
Guzman
presentar al doctor
Carriquiry
Guzman
Lecour.
Carriquiry Lecour, que ha trabajado al servicio de la
He
Santa
has
Sede
worked
durante los últimos
with the
40
Holy
años
Site
y desempeñado
in
como
the last
secretario
40
general
years
a cargo
as
de la
Secretary
presidencia
General,
de la
as the
Comisión Pontifical
presidency
para la
of
América
the
Latina.
the
Damos la
Pontifical
bienvenida al
presidency.
doctor Guzman
Please give him our welcome.
Dear sisters and dear brothers,
Queridos hermanos y hermanas,
encuentro with a great joy
dejo
in
este
heart,
encuentro con una alegría en mi
sharing this
corazón
event with you all.
y el haber compartido con todos ustedes. Les doy las gracias a cada uno de ustedes y anhelo compartir todo esto con muchos de mis colegas y mis superiores en el Vaticano. Before I became to Encuentro, I imagined it, a national event with lots of fruits, national dimension, because it has been prepared with a vast and extensive experience with the proposal from Pope Francisco as a pastoral conversion in the edification of the church. But this experience of this encuentro has just surpassed all my expectations. What I am most impressed with is that the providence of God wanted this encuentro to be celebrated in a very difficult moment in God's church in the United States. The Lord's providence has wanted that this event was an event of strength, with abundance, with gifts for the benefit of the U.S. Church in these difficult times. It is an ointment for our wounds. It is a caress from the Lord. Este es un consuelo de Dios en estos tiempos turbulentos. I haven't found anyone here in these difficult times that are like Maú's disciples that were walking, defeated, depressed, sad, confused before the ignominy of the cross that they could not understand. But what I have found are the ones that are similar to those disciples that felt their hearts burn when they recognized the presence of the Lord and their company in the path of life. They've been converted as witnesses that proclaim everywhere this event of salvation. And have we found the Lord, haven't we? During this journey, we have perceived him in your faces, the participants. We have lived it through the testimonies that we've shared. We've appreciated in the presence and the preachings of our bishops. We have found this in this beautiful, beautiful liturgical celebrations that we have taken part in. I didn't find anybody that would be ripping their robes. I didn't find the people lifting that the inquisitory finger. I didn't find anybody wailing and complaining or hiding, in problems and complaints. What I found were authentic Catholics that begin with joy, with enthusiasm, this path from the faithful of the Lord, and that they recognize each other as poor sinners, as beggars of God's merciful grace for the purification and the reconciliation.
You are showing
Están demostrando están demostrando y expresando a sus pastores la fidelidad, amor y belleza de las personas y las comunidades que Dios les ha confiado. Les ha confiado en sus cuidados pastorales. I think it's notable that just that when in a few years the half of the Catholic people in this great country will be Hispanic. I find it noteworthy that this event is not just a market niche or an expression from Hispanics. It was an encounter in which Hispanics become co-responsible for the life of Catholicism in the United States, responsible for the life and destiny of church in this country, and they're offering a fundamental contribution. From the moment the bishops began preparing this event, this numerous journey, this is a sign of all this. And we have to be very grateful to our honorable bishops. I also congratulate myself together with you for the subject that we had for the fifth Encuentro, missionary disciples. This comes from the document Aparecita, and it becomes universal, exhorting from the document Evangelii Audium that has marked the method and the content of the work in these journeys. Discipleship and mission are the two main priorities for the life of the church and for the life of the church in this country as well. Nobody or anything can disconnect us, decentralize us from these priorities. And this is why the spirit that we have breathed in this encuentro, thanks to God and thanks to you, is a profound communion, effective with the successor of Peter, the vicar of Christ, the rock of our faith, Pope Francisco, with a faithfulness that is intelligent, effective, and committed. Finally, I also remember that after many events, such as, the World Youth event, I've been in all of those, John Paul II always said that it was decisive. El día después del encuentro, the day after the event. This enthusiasm that we share, we go on, we have to go to our daily routine, the hours of work, our daily routines. And that is why I allow myself, or I dare, to put before you 5 very, very difficult issues that need to be considered for that day after, for our Hispanic leaders and for our communities. The first one is something that we have to be with God, with the Lord. We have to find Him day after day, especially through the Eucharist, through prayer. We must maintain ourselves incorporated in our communities, and we must demand ourselves for our formation, so our discipleship and our mission grows with a renewed commitment. This must be addressed and rooted so we can bear fruit. In second place, we cannot forget, as disciple missionaries that we are, that so many of our brothers and sisters that are Hispanic have lost that root in the Catholic culture. They have been abandoned in marginality. They have been tempted by warm communities among evangelicals and Pentecostals. We have to be close to them. We have to keep company. We have to have testimony that attracts them. Let's invite them to our communities. In third place, how can we not have present that the national debate that we have today about Hispanics, that includes these dramatic issues about immigration and the discrimination of many Hispanics, this is the soul of this nation is in play right now. So along with all these experiences of solidarity and these works of charity, it's important that voices and leadership grow among Hispanics in public life, in every dimension of public life in this country. Hispanic leadership that is coherent with their faith and with the teachings of the social teachings of our church. In fourth place, I find it extraordinary that in the communion of the U.S. Church, which is a sort of large laboratory, the diverse forms of culturizing faith, they should not be in static compartments. Providence asks that we learn from each other. To summarize, it's more enriching to live that one faith, that one community. Finally, you, Hispanics, that have every right since 500 years ago to say we are Americans, you have to be a bridge. You have to be a bridge that provides a greater reality, such as John Paul II's vision is in America, the communion in all the American continent, the communion of the U.S. Church with the churches of Latin America, and the solidarity among our people, among our nations, as a forma mundis of this ecclesiastical communion. What a responsibility you have before you. You're not going to be without the grace of God and the motherly love of our Mother Mary. Thank you so much.